this is Mike McCready, co-founder and CEO of Music X-Ray, and your host on episode 39 of the Hookblast podcast. This is the 10-minute podcast where we discover a few new catchy songs. You add the ones you love to your own streaming playlists. You rock out all week, and the next week, we repeat. All right, if you're listening to this episode on release date, then you know there's an important election in the United States tomorrow. And so, you know, I've been recording these shows in the lead up, and it's all pretty exciting. So I actually had this episode completely wrapped up, recorded, edited, synced to video, and ready to release. And, you know, Thursday night rolls around, and, you know, I've been trying to get a little bit better at this podcast hosting thing. So occasionally I show one of these episodes to my wife. And in the original version of this episode, there was a point in the episode where I was like, wear a mask, go vote. And she was like, no one wants to hear that from you. Tone it down. It's a music podcast, not a political podcast. And I was all like, no one wants to hear that from you. Okay, you're probably right. So this is a re-record of episode 39. And one I'm going to have to edit and produce and maybe splice back together with salvageable parts of the original episode, all on my own because my team isn't going to be able to get it done before Monday's publishing date. But on the positive side, you're getting an episode free of me telling you to wear a mask and go vote. Okay, so this is a podcast about catchy songs, but sometimes catchy songs are topical and political, like this one by TJ Black. It's his debut song. It's self-produced. This is Just Want to Be Free.
COVID-19 political fighting, armies are marching, blame is thrown. So what's on the horizon? These times are dicey, tensions rising. Now this is a pandemic and we all in it. State of emergency, restrictions drawn in the sand. Plague lands, public places are closed. Racial slurs, million jobs are lost. Confirmed cases raising concerns, while everyone with worrying faces. Just wanna be free. A long, long time, so let me free, let me free. I just wanna be free. Oh, a long, long time, so let me free. If you need a hand, just make that call. I'll be there, you'll be there, all in all. If you need a hand, just make that call. I'll be there, you'll be there, all in all. Just wanna be free. A long, long time, so let me free, let me free. I just wanna be free. Oh, a long, long time, so let me free. Yeah.
All right, that's TJ Black, and he just wants to be free. On the other hand, when it comes to cost, we get a completely different catchy perspective from artist Chewy Main. He'd approach the problem with a pile of $100 bills. This is Benjamin Stax.
Benjamin Stax, Benjamin Stax, Benjamin Stax, Benjamin Stax. I want more money on more money, want more money on more money. The Benjamin Stax, Benjamin Stax, Benjamin Stax, Benjamin Stax. I want more money on more money, want more money on more money. The Benjamins. I like designer, so the Benjamin Stack. Posted on the block, I posted in the back. Mr. VIP, I hit the club, all drinks on me. White boy wasted, don't care what they think about me. Benjamin Stack, the bank on me. Doing the plane left and right and waste the whole damn drink on me. So sauce and Tupac, all these eyes on me. It's some cost just to shine like me. I'm on time, but ain't no watch on me. I want more money on more money, so the Benjamin Stack. I love the C-Notes, baby. The fast money cash game made me obsessed with the cash money, just like babe, like babe. Benjamin Stacks, Benjamin Stacks, Benjamin Stacks, Benjamin Stacks. I want more money on more money, want more money on more money.
Benjamin Stax is by artist Chewy Main, and he thinks this song will resonate with people who are fans of a big bankroll of money. Up next, this is one of those country rockabilly songs that grabs on tight to an idiom and never lets go. This is You Snooze, You Lose from the band Madison County.
Well, Bob's been working you for 7 years now. Jane's been working for 3. There's this thing out there we call seniority. Yeah, but Jane's been working for 40-hour weekend, going to school every day. Bob's been putting her 40 hours in just to get her weekly pay. Well, they heard there was an open for a promotion, and Bob thought you When the boss got to his office, he paid for Jane to come in. You snooze, you lose. Can't sit on the front porch all day long. You snooze, you lose. Keep thinking everybody else is wrong. Can't keep putting things off, cause tomorrow comes too fast and you run out of time. You better rearrange your frame of mind. You snooze, you lose.
And there it is. The band suggested Brothers Osborne fans might be into this song, and I have to agree on the sound and the feel of that. And hey, since we're talking politics today, have you ever thought about the difference in the role that music plays in our society today as compared to other times of social and political unrest, like say back in the 1960s and 70s with the Civil Rights Movement and the Vietnam protest songs? Back then, music was one of the only forms of one-to-many communication. The role of the artist as a thought leader was more important than it is now. From Pete Seeger to Bob Dylan, whose contributions to this kind of one-to-many communications won him a Nobel Prize for Literature. But today, anyone with a Twitter handle or an Instagram account or a podcast has one-to-many communication ability, and the role of music has evolved. But an artist is still an artist and should seek to propel us forward regardless of the medium, in my opinion. Here comes Raélle with a volume-loud, rainy day drive breakup ballad. This is Chasing Rainbows.
I protected your heart more than my own. Plus you left me here all alone. I don't wanna believe you are my forever. I just kept on hoping you'd fight for us to stay together. There's nothing left to discuss. Love, it just wasn't enough. It 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 wasn't.
All right, that one goes into your playlist alongside some Adele or Sam Smith, maybe. That's Chasing Rainbows from Raélle. Okay, hey, here we are, about to hear our last hook today. So here's the deal. Podcast audiences grow the most when they show up in the recommendations of all the various podcast apps, starting with Apple Podcasts, but really all of them. That happens when listeners like you pop in and leave star ratings, and may I humbly suggest the 5-star option. And even better if you write a little review. You can say something about me having a great face for radio. So long and short, I would appreciate some love in the review section, and please do share this episode with others who who could use some great music in their life. I'm ending this episode the way it began, with a song written and produced since the pandemic began. This is Smile, performed by Magical.
You think that you'll never understand. Your heart may be breaking, but you know you'll get through. Life's for the taking if you stand. Smile, light up the whole world with your smile. Whenever you have a rainy day, you can smile. Don't let your troubles get in the way, and put all the dark clouds far behind you, and just smile.
And that's all the time we have for episode 39 of the Hookblast podcast. I'll catch you back here next week with a fresh batch of new hooks. Bye-bye.
Just smile.